Hey there, all my Bible study and Matthew peeps. happy week. What is this? Week 18. What do you know? Okay, so today our lesson is on giving to the needy, which we should do. There's no doubt that we should do that, people that are in need. It's more blessed to give than receive, right? But do we do it for self-glorification? I think some of that that's just natural. But and we do things sometimes to be seen. When you stop and think about that. Some people think here in these verses that Jesus is contradicting himself. Go back and compare 5:15-16 and Matthew 6:1. So to Matthew 6:1 here. Make sure that you let your light shine in such a way that others see good things coming from you and they praise the Father in heaven. So let your light shine. But then he's saying here, don't do it. Everybody know about it. Make sure you do what you do for the correct reason, is what he's saying. Not for our glory. So I want to give you a little example. And not that I'm anything special, but as an example. I went to 2 Mile Church when I first got married to John. And I went out there just on Sunday mornings. And every Sunday morning I'd go out there and I'd notice how dirty the carpet was. They had a carpet runner in the middle of the aisle there between the pews, the left and the right pew. And nobody ever, it just kept getting worse and worse. And I thought, well, so when I became a member, I got a key to the church and I went out there once a week and cleaned that carpet. But I didn't tell anybody. And I remember I had an example when I was growing up. Linda Honeycutt would go and clean Pleasant Hill Free Baptist Church, and she never said a word to anybody. I can remember her saying, why wouldn't you want to clean God's house? He can't come down and do it. That woman was just amazing, but she didn't do it where anybody would see her. She didn't hide it. But she would go out there one day a week and clean that church. And I can remember when 2 Mile needed to be cleaned, I just went out there and cleaned it. I didn't tell nobody. But somebody recognized it. The preacher's wife said, I know somebody's cleaning this church. I never said a word. When we do things, we should, and while we're doing it, instead of being full of resentment, well, why don't somebody clean this church? Say, Lord, just sing a song of praise to him and say, I'm doing this for you. I love you, Lord, and I want you to know I love you. That's a way that we can serve, and that's also a way that we can tithe. You can tithe of your time to God. So we shouldn't announce our donations, in verse 2. So when you give to the needy, do not announce it. I gave to the needy. If we seek the recognition of men, there will be no recognition of God. I don't think it hurts sometimes for people to know that a church gave so much to the St. Jude's. That's not a bad thing. There's a reason. It's the attitude of the heart. This whole Sermon on the Mount thing has been about an attitude of the heart. So why does God take the time to outline this stuff for us? I think he cares about what's going on inside of our hearts. Jesus is warning us here not to do the things to impress others. Absolutely. This is to guard us against becoming self-centered. And do we really need someone to say thank you for doing that? No. God sees. God knows. God sees everything. Isn't that a good thing? He sees the good and the bad, and he sees it in our heart. May it be filled with good most of the time. So, and in verse 3 and 4, God gives us some guidelines. You should give in secret, Don't talk about it to everyone. Now, if somebody asks me, like one of my daughters one time asked me, so how much do you tithe? Because that door needs to be opened and I need to teach them. So it's okay to do that. But is it wrong to give openly? Not necessarily. Just do not become legalistic regarding this topic, okay? In Acts, people began to sell off the land and lay the money at the deacon's feet, so there was no need. What about Ananias and Sapphira? They wanted to be like Barnabas, so they sold off their stuff and they kept some of it. What happened to them? They died. Because they lied. They died because they lied. They kept some of it. It was the attitude of their heart. God struck them down. Their hearts became caught up in doing something for the applause of the people. You can't do wrong and get by. May that always resonate with you. So what's the attitude of your heart today? We should give. We should feel free to give. There should always be something in us wanting to give. But, and honestly, Michelle, there's not a more giving, sweet person. Your heart is always has the right giving attitude, if you ask me. I've never seen anybody with the most correct attitude as Michelle Buchanan and Lacey Lienfelder. You two are just giving people, and you do it with the right attitude. May we have the right attitude with our giving heart. May you be an example for all of us. I miss you guys. Hope you have a good day. This was a good lesson. Talk about giving. How can we give and not be puffed up? I don't know if that's possible totally because we're human, but it's the attitude of the heart. It's the attitude of the heart. Love you.